The question is the virtue of detachment in the Catholic tradition. What should we detach ourselves from? The virtue of detachment in the Catholic tradition. What should we detach from? This is an offhand question, but then it has got a deep meaning. First of all, what is detachment? Detachment is staying a little far from something. I have this pen and the pen top. I can detach the pen top from the pen for some time till I use the pen, and then I attach them once again. Attachment and detachment. But in our spiritual tradition, the Catholic tradition, the detachment has got a rich meaning. Perhaps in Sanskrit or in our Indian language we call sannyasa. Sannyasa. We have one or two institutes called sannyasa in Bangalore, where perhaps a little more of explanations of detachment is given. For me, I would say the layman's thing would be that we detach ourselves from something, from someone, for something that is in our heads in order to be closer. You detach yourself in order to be closer, in order to be perhaps in the presence of something. And therefore, for Christians, detachment would be that we come closer to God. At the same time, we leave out certain things. I take you to the reference of Matthew chapter 4, verse 18 to 20. This is the pericope of the first call of the disciples. Jesus comes and he sees Peter and his brother Andrew fishing, and he says, "Come, follow me." And there we get the words to the explanation to say that they left their nets and followed him. A little longer, a little distant away, Jesus sees another two disciples, future disciples, another two persons there fishing there, and they happen to be both brothers, James and John, and he tells them, "Come, follow me." And they leave their boat and they leave their father and follow me. So I shall take these three words. First of all, leaving the nets. Secondly, leaving the boat. And thirdly, leaving the father. I would say that these are three ways of detaching ourselves. It's not only for priests and religious, for holy people, but for everyone. First of all, following Jesus means cutting off from their means of livelihood. I have to live, I have to work. But then when Jesus calls, I leave even that. Does it mean that I'm going to fast forever now from now on? No. I depend on God, providence. God will provide. God will provide. And God doesn't disappoint. God never disappoints, and therefore the first means is a means of our livelihood, something that would be on which I'm dependent on my own security, as it were. I sacrifice, I detach myself. Secondly, leave the boat. Leave the boat. The boat, in those days when the disciples were there, when Jesus was there in the Palestine, that particular years of era, there was no such thing as perhaps vehicles, the transport, the trains and the buses, not even anything of that sort. Perhaps at the most they had a bullock cart, a horse cart, and the transport meant, especially for the people of Galilee, they could travel very easily through the boats. And therefore to leave a boat means you are almost cutting your travel or your legs, as it were, that you won't be able to travel. And that's not only the meaning of traveling also, but communication. And transport and communications go together. I can ring up to somebody and say that I'm coming, I'm not coming. But then to cut off your transport and communication means to detach yourself from these things in order to be close to God. The figure of Martha and Mary. Mary sits at the feet of Jesus. Martha is busy. And Jesus says, "Martha, Martha, you are busy with so many things, but one thing is missing. And what is missing is with Mary." And therefore, our transport and communications is the figure of the boat, as it were. And thirdly, they left their father and followed him. They left their father. The father is the symbol of what's called our blood relationship or human relationship, and therefore detachment from our own blood relations or our friend circle, our friends as it were. These are very important for us. A family is very important. We grow up in a family. You can't ask a mother to abandon her child. You can't ask a father to leave the go. They need the family. And as the children grow up, perhaps as we grow up, we have a friend circle. We are very much dependent on our friend circle also. I depend on the opinion of my friend for certain things that I'm doing. But then Jesus asks you to cut off from that. Why? Because Jesus wants to be your friend. Jesus wants to be your relation. And therefore, cut off from your father. Cut off from all your blood relationship, your mother, your family, so that you can be more closer to God. You can be detached from your relations, from your blood relations, from your friends, so that you can be attached to Christ. So therefore, first of all, the nets is your livelihood, your boat is your means of transport and communication, and your father is blood relationship that your God is asking you. Perhaps it's not a great sacrifice that He is asking. He is not asking you to deprive yourself and I will see that you fast and you are this. No, 100-fold He promises. He promises 100-fold. That means if you are going to leave one pen, perhaps 100 pens you can expect. If you are going to leave one of your friends, God is going to give you another 100 friends. 100-fold is going to bless you. So that is the trust that we put in Jesus, and that is the detachment that we speak from our worldly things, our relationships, etc., in order to be attached to Jesus Himself. So my dear friends, I wish you a very happy, a holy week, a week in your family, and keep up this theme, what we call the year of the family, in some way sort of fulfilled in your own family. I wish you and your family a very happy weekend and a week ahead.